Can you do CrossFit with keto? How does the ketogenic diet affect your CrossFit performance? Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me this question, and usually they think that it's impossible, it's not possible to do it because you're simply burning so much glycogen and it's so high intensity for you to stay well adapted on keto. But in reality, there's not much difference. You can indeed do the ketogenic diet with CrossFit and things like that, even at high intensities. And I'm gonna share with you this clip from the Biohackers live show where we discuss these recent new studies done on CrossFit athletes on a keto diet and how does it affect their performance. So check it out.
Here are like two studies. The first one is released or published on 2017, a low carbohydrate ketogenic diet combined with 6 weeks of CrossFit training improves body composition and performance. So as you can see from this study, this has they had 27 non-elite CrossFit subjects. They were randomized into like control group or low carb ketogenic diet group. And the conclusions were that our data show that LCKD combined with 6 weeks of CrossFit training can lead to significant decrease in body fat percentage, fat mass, weight, and body mass index while maintaining lean body mass and improving performance on the right.
What do they mean by like improved performance?
So there's, let's see from here. The performance was in the metcons and also in the strength type of lifts. So there was no significant difference, a slightly better performance in the ketogenic diet group. And this other study showed also that it was a 12-week ketogenic diet while cross-training. There was but improves in body composition without negatively impacting muscle mass and or aerobic, anaerobic, or strength performance. So this study found out that there were no performance benefits, but there were no like disadvantages. But your body composition got like really significantly better. So
it was done like in non-elite athletes as well, like they were recreational.
Recreational athletes, non-elites. So this was like basically your basic CrossFitter. So and these kind of studies are coming like mushrooms in the rain. So
I think like when it comes to CrossFit, then if you are doing it on a keto diet, then you're simply burning through. Though you're not burning that much glycogen on CrossFit either, because your body can, like I mentioned, your fatty acid molecules can be converted back into glucose, and those gonna be replenished with muscle glycogen. But with CrossFit, it may be simply that if you are doing it very intensely or if you're doing it very frequently, then it may lead to simply a situation where you're simply overtaxing your body. And I would imagine if you are like a non-elite athlete, then your body, you're not exercising that frequently, or you're not doing it that often, where you would actually need to replenish your muscle glycogen that fast. Because you don't even need to be eating anything at all for your muscle glycogen to refill itself. You can muscle glycogen tends to refill itself maybe within 24 to 36 hours, and it's back full again, simply because of your body fat being converted into glycogen.
Yeah, you're like right on point on this. If you're like elite athlete, then I wouldn't go just full ketogenic. I would go with a targeted ketogenic and implementing the carbohydrates around the workout. But quite rare of us are like elite athletes who train 2 to 3 times per day. But many CrossFitters actually are who are like training for competitions. So for those, I wouldn't go like just pure ketogenic, but targeted ketogenic diet and play with that.
In conclusion, I'm going to also say that, you don't need to be consuming a high amount of carbohydrates either if you're doing things like powerlifting, weightlifting, gymnastics, calisthenics, or even ordinary bodybuilding, because yeah, fatty acids can be converted back into glucose, and after you become keto adapted, then you're going to become actually more glycogen sparing. You're going to burn more fat at higher intensities as well, and even if you do deplete your glycogen, then you can use these different strategies of either the targeted or the cyclical keto diet to, you know, take advantage of a short little time window where you are indeed very insulin sensitive, and those carbohydrates can be used only for glycogen replenishment, not for fat storage. So that's one of the keys to not gaining fat, and to actually improving your performance, or to gain muscle without getting fat on a very slow and consistent basis. So definitely check out the rest of the Biohackers Live show. Check out my books, Keto Bodybuilding, and also click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. My name's Seam. Stay ketotic, stay empowered.
There has been, in recent days, a lot of studies about the ketogenic diet, and people are healing themselves of all kinds of chronic disease. What I like to say, overconsumption diseases. I know people who've healed themselves from cancer, and it is clear, we do know that many of our chronic diseases are a result of overconsumption. Overconsumption creates a state where we never go into this rejuvenative process of autophagy. This is where your body goes into a state of rejuvenation. Your body begins to literally break down and get rid of decrepit, useless, stagnant cells. It may speed up this process of cell mitosis. Well, when you fast, as opposed to ketogenic diet where you're eating a whole lot of fat and stuff, and it could take you up to 10, 14 days to get into ketosis with a ketogenic diet. With fasting, you get the benefits of ketosis within 48 hours. Bang! Fasting is the real ketogenic diet.
A lot of your clients have like diseases. I watched some of your videos where you talk about guys with cancer and AIDS. How does fasting help people that have those kind of problems?
So I've helped a lot of people with cancer, and essentially like fasting combined with obviously cutting sugar, these are like those well-known ways to kill cancer cells. Like a lot of people are just confused on what cancer even is.
Yeah.
Like, because the mainstream fucking medical system and doctors always have to name everything.
Right.
So as soon as they put a name on something, it's like, oh, it's serious,
Mm-hmm.
where everybody's producing cancer cells at any given time. Like me, you are, I am. They're mutated cells.
Right.
Your stem cells will produce some fucked up cells, and your immune system's strong and mine's strong, like from fasting and eating clean food, your body will just kill those fucking things. But when you get older, or if you're a child with a fucked up immune system from crazy amounts of fucking shots or, immunizations or whatever, we can get into that. Fuck, I got haters on that shit too.
Oh yeah.
But if you were born fucked up for some reason, maybe your mom was a fucking drunk or some shit, a fat drunk when she had you, and now you got autoimmune issues at birth, you can develop cancer at that point because you're just weak. Okay, It's just a weak immune system essentially will lead to cancer buildup, you should say, like where it starts to turn into something where it actually starts to turn into a tumor, right? And as soon as you start fasting, you starve the shit out of it. And there's other protocols, like right away you definitely want your pH high in your body. So like I'll have people pound baking soda. Baking soda alkalizes the living shit out of your kidneys and your whole body. Like that's one of the known cancer protocols is baking soda and fucking vitamin C. Like high dose vitamin C you can take during a fast too. That vitamin C will just kill a fucking cancer cell in like 10 seconds. And people, like that's where a lot of these naturopaths that are actually giving people high dose vitamin C, they're getting hated on like crazy in the States. Like if you want to get some serious autophagy and basically increase your heat shock, you got these things called heat shock proteins in your body which do all sorts of awesome health, give you awesome health benefits. But like saunas are good, but you got to watch if you're drinking that salt water, you don't want to like sweat out too much salt, so you're gonna have to get a little more salt in after. But I'll do dry saunas, like where I'll go dry, and I'll be fairly dry, like a good 20 hours dry, and then I'll sit in the sauna for like 2 hours, and you can feel it. When you're in that deep state of ketosis, plus you're dry fasted, your body gets to a situation where it needs to break down body fat just to get that metabolic water to hydrate you.
Yeah.
So if you're dry and you go sit in that sauna, but like you want to keep the intensity down in the sauna. So you want to sit like at the bottom of the sauna. You know, you don't want to be too hot. You just want to keep it as long as you can, but not too hot.
Got
And
it.
you will burn some serious body fat when you do that. Like your heart rate will go up. Mine will get up a good, maybe, you know, as much as 50 points over resting just from sitting there in the heat. And so it's almost like basically simulating lazy steady state cardio, and you're on the fast. So you're just roasting body fat.
During this time, I also experimented with the cyclical ketogenic diet. Basically, I was eating keto for 5 to 6 days in a row with these 2 meals within 6 to 8 hours. On day 7, I would fast for about 20 hours, have an intense workout, and then eat a very large dinner with a bunch of carbohydrates. I'm not gonna lie, I could eat like 500 to 1000 grams of carbs from 3000 to 5000 calories and still lose some fat with it because I was so insulin sensitive and my glycogen was so depleted. It was quite a feast, to be honest. You know, some healthy carbs, potatoes, bananas, rice, but also some junk like ice cream, Cheerios, and what else, cookies or whatever. The reason I did it was to experiment how my body responds to this type of carb cycling and carb backloading. Sometimes I stayed keto for 3 weeks in a row and then only had a 1 refeed. At others, I did it every 5 days. When doing the cyclical ketogenic diet, then you have to make sure that you deplete your liver as well as your muscle glycogen before introducing the carbs, as to make sure that those carbs you do eat, they get stored as glycogen, not as fat. You also want to eat low-fat, high-carb, moderate protein on your refeed days, not high-fat, high-carb, low-protein, because that's a recipe for insulin resistance and diabetes. That's why I was still eating healthy carbs with mostly glucose, like rice and potatoes, and I kept the junk to a minimum.
Put that cookie down!
In general, the cyclical ketogenic diet with these massive refeeds isn't as good as a consistent ketogenic diet because you may become under-adapted to using fat and ketones during the rest of the week. This may make you feel more tired and dependent on the next refeed, which is why I decided to stop it after a few months. But it can be a good way to implement back into your diet every once in a while. If I were to try to get really jacked and build some serious muscle, then the cyclical ketogenic diet can be very effective even if you have carb refeeds almost every day.
Bulking season for you.
To know how to do it, I've written a program called Keto Carb Cycle that gives you the exact blueprint of what to eat in what amounts and at what time to have your refeeds. It covers 30 days with both keto-friendly and carb-friendly recipes, so you can check out the link in the show notes. Body-mind empowerment.
Get stronger, faster, smarter, quicker, friendlier, more helpful, more driven.
Everything the body needs.
Control your mind.